the juice now, boy. Dang, that's a cool background. I need something like that. Alright. 2 minutes late, but we're here. 2 minutes late, but we're here. We'll see how this goes. Hey, how you doing, Diablo Mark? Hope you're doing well. Just getting set up. Apologies for this taking a moment. I'm running a little late today. How are you tonight? Hopefully you can hear me just fine. Hey, what's up, Warhammer Builder? How you doing, man? And lastly, okay. Thank you, go. Thank you, guys. Oh, it's you, Mark. Okay, what's up, dude? How you been? All right. I need decals. Are they in here? Did I put the decals back in here? I did. Let's go. Good. Got a crap loom of Imperial Fist to paint. Yeah. I feel that. Well, not so much on the Imperial Fist, but I feel you on the Marines, brother. I feel like I painted a lot of Emperor Spears. Okay. So, objective today is get some decals onto this boy so we can start hopefully. Oh my god. Get off of him. Hopefully making him look quite fancy. That's the hope. Get them all gussied up for Golden Demon. I don't have compressed air, so this is going to have to do. Usually works pretty well. Yeah. Plus I just got some microset and microsol, so I've been messing around with that. I just did a little bit of that the other night on my Night Lords Dreadnaught. I put on that decal, the one on the head, and well, that's freehand, so is that, but yeah, I think those came out really well after a good varnish. They're quite nice. So I have some ideas, because I think would black look good on there? I don't really think so. I think the white is going to be really cool. So I want to combine a couple of these transfers because I suck at freehand. So that's my objective here. Welcome in, Insanity AL. How you doing today? Hopefully well. So I'm thinking maybe one of these cogs would be cool, because like I can put that on its side and then have another decal molding into it. I wish they just had a skull. Like maybe I could use one of the Legio Mortis ones. That's kind of the idea at the moment, but I'm not sure how well that lines up. All good. Just made a new color scheme for my Death Guard. Hell yeah, dude. Let's go. But I figured ain't nothing to it but to do it. And we're just going to hope for the best. Because realistically, we're not going to be winning Golden Demon anyway. So I just want to have some fun. So we'll take that cog, because, let's see, that kind of lines up, but not as well as I'd like. Let me grab my Knight transfer. Maybe I could find a good-sized skull in there. Alright, we got a lot of transfers to work with. I am gonna do some digging here. We're gonna take this transfer though and put it on top of our speaker. Hopefully Twitch doesn't hate me for having a speaker. Don't hate me, Twitch. I'd really appreciate you not hating me. Okay, so I think these Cadian ones are about the same size, if not a touch smaller, so that ain't gonna work. Okay. You know what? That's a great question. I'm so sorry, Insanity. Yeah, what colors, man? What you got cooking over there? Maybe one of these skulls might work. That's not that bad either. And then I would love let's see. Yeah, okay. So I think we're gonna maybe use something from that, and then I really like the Infernal Script. That's about the right size, probably. Or, well, that's what we're gonna use anyway. So that'll be cool, I think. Space Marines again. I think these are too small. I think majority of these. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, that's kind of hype. I may steal that noggin. I don't really want to steal off of my Mechanicus ones, but I may do that. Okay, that fits pretty well too. Okay. So, big maybes. Krieg. There's another Chaos one, which is nice. I can use that for more Infernal Script. Here's the Knight one. I think everything's on here is going to be far too big, but I wanted to gander. Because the idea is, once I have that skull and cog down, I'm planning on making, like, some stars around it, and maybe some, like, tentacles. Because I originally thought about just doing a, like, Kraken, but I was like, I don't want to do that entirely, but I do want to make it feel chaosy. Okay, I think Yeah, I think that's going to be my best bet there. And the nice thing about the Acadian one is there's several on that. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're gonna use these, I think. We can get that out of there. We're gonna need our big brush, our microset and microsole. Microset, microsole. Alright. Oh, this is spooky. If I don't pull this off, I'm going to be really sad. Okay. And as per usual, I'm going to start with the most difficult thing. So again, I just want to check. Yeah, all those are excellent candidates. So that's what we're gonna grab. Guess I don't need to be too careful about cutting it out on that side, but here I want to try to be as close as I can. Oh. And immediately drop it. That's cool. Alright. Oh boy, I really wish I had magnifyings for once. Alright, I think that's a fairly clean split, I think. And that looks pretty good to me. Okay, alright. So, now, we just gotta go for it, I think. Which is usually a pretty dumb thing to say. Usually. But we do these things. I don't know if I'm supposed to shake that. I just kind of did. Okay. A bit of microset on there. Get her all loosey-goosey. Ooh. Okay. And then we want that as center as possible. It's just... Alright, we're ready to rock and roll all night long. Okay. I don't know why I'm worried about this, but I am. Okay. Alright. Now we have a moment to adjust, basically. I think that looks pretty center overall. Trying to line it up with that mark there. Alright, I'm going for it. We're rocking it. Alright, we're gonna let that completely dry before we add the cog to it. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but whatever. You know what, just to be on the safe side while that's drying anyway. We'll just pop that off. Okay. Alright. Yes, dry. Or maybe it was better to do this all together? I don't really know. Questions like that are beyond my scope of existence, I think. Okay. I think we're boot ready for round 2, so grab you. We're gonna go right on top of the microset. Dab some more on there, let it really get on there. Welcome back, Warhammer Builder. What do you mean WTF? What about it? We're putting decals on Tiny Titans. This is what happened. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just hoping this next application goes well. Man, the other one almost released like instantly. That was wild how quickly that one released. God, I I know I shouldn't be, but man, I'm nervous. Okay. Once again, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Please don't lift. I'll be so sad. Okay. Shit. Fuck. Oh my god, okay. I don't know if this is salvageable, but we're gonna try. No, that's cooked. Okay. Damn. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. That did not go well. Good thing we got two of them. We get 2 tries. We're gonna learn from our mistakes. Leave a little bit of a lip. At least the skull didn't get fucked. So, I mean, there's that at least. Take whatever wins we can. Oh my god. Just get out of there then, dude. Just get out of there. All right. All right, boys and girls, we're going in again. Take 2, Electric Boogaloo. And now, just carefully. Alright. We're going to let that dry. But, mission accomplished so far. Ooh, alright. A little bit of cleanup to do, but I'm very happy with that so far. Fuck! Shit. Damn it. I felt that one coming, man. Okay, whatever. It's fine. Didn't cut my finger open. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, it's fine. We saved half the bottle at least, so it's only like $4 down the drain or something. Alright, whatever. That's frustrating, but we live. That's a little bit more than half the bottle. We're still half full. Alright, alright. Good enough, good enough. Frustrating, yes, but end of world, no. I think while that's doing its thing, I don't know. Oh, there it is. We're going to do just a smidge of touch-up. that I guess happened while we were frantically handling everything. Just gonna get some of our purple, get it watered down a little bit, like that. And then we're just gonna do some very minor touch-ups. And that will dry to the same shade, or it should at least. I'm just gonna say that what just happened was worth the price of getting that transfer down. The universe is like, not everything can be perfect, so hit that dude. Like, they're just so little pumpable bottles too. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order a couple of like little squirt bottles for those, and I wonder, are these labeled or do they like printed on there? I think they're actually like printed. Okay. Bummer. I was about to say I could just. Oh, they might have like squirt bottle caps though. I could just do that. Okay. Well, on to the next one. We're going to use a couple different varieties of these Chaos scripts. I think these square ones would be particularly cool for the legs. And oddly enough, I think actually in just about the right scale. And then these bigger ones, I think it'd be cool to maybe put one on the shoulder pad. Or maybe like split it and do some on each shoulder pad maybe. I think that could be cool. Just want to see here. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And then maybe I could cut these a little bit more. I can trim those down and I can make them work, yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. I like where that's going. What happened to you? There we go. Alright. Take number 4. Not knock it over. Electric Boogaloo. And honestly, I'm probably just going to order another pair of these anyway. Like, these have been so good for transfers. Like, it's not even... Jesus Christ, stop doing that. Swear by all that is unholy. If I was cooler, I'd do freehand, but... oh, excuse me. I'm not cooler. Yeah, this one might take a little bit more persuading than anticipated, because it's an old one. That's that old Chaos transfer sheet. I think she's just about ready. Grab that. Try not to crush it. Put that all the way over there. There we go. Feel like, oh, Jesus. Okay. Then we're gonna just stamp down. Bada bing. Alright, cool. Very nice. And then we can take you, close that up for now. Yeah, I'm still watching, man. You know, let's take your arm off. I'm not McLovin, that's there. More purple. Are you like lagging hard? Is that what's going on? You talking about the touch-ups that I did? I just did a little bit of touch-up to get the dude back to where he needed to be. Where did the Top Gun go? A little confused on that one. Yeah, no, I was just doing touch-ups for him. Where I accidentally scratched the paint a little bit, apparently. What the? Oh, it's all the way down there. In the commotion of things. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. Alright. So you're done. Welcome back, by the way. Okay. Cool. I think I want to put one there. This one's so small, it's going to be hard to make anything out on it anyway, so that's fine. Okay. So, I think I need to cut about that much off. Roughly. Check the fit. Yippers. Okay. Cool. Boop. So what you up to tonight, Warhammer Builder? Anything of much? Besides watching me struggle to do decals? Huh. I mean, that's always pretty fun. That's always like a solid, 9 out of 10 for me, but... Big game plan for going to hobby on Saturday. Nice, dude. I'm going to be going to the shop tomorrow. I'm very excited for that. Get to play some 40K tomorrow. Maybe some Age of Sigmar too. Depending on how things go. I said I would do this with gloves. While we're waiting for that one, I'm going to grab some gloves. Or at least one glove. I play too many, brother. I play too many. So I play Sisters of Battle, Night Lords, Adeptus Mechanicus, Emperor Spears, which is just Space Marines. Yeah, those are the big ones. Oh no, there's like negative chance I win, Mark, but I wish. Honestly, at this point, I would just be very content to get a commended pin. I would really like that. That'd be so cool. But I am very excited to go on the trip in general, though. That I'm very excited for. Oh my god. Get out of the cup. Swear. Okay. There we go. Now we can just do a little positioning. Stamp her down. Nice. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Dude, I mean, I appreciate that. I really do, but like these dudes, they don't play, brother. They come to mess up stuff. Like the things that people can do with a paintbrush are like wild. And I'm just gonna be happy to be in the same case as those people. Let alone getting a commended pin or even like a moment with a judge and they say good job on anything from my Titan. Like I'll just be happy in that. Do one more transfer over here by the Titanicus symbol, and then we're going to varnish this bad boy and lock in all that flavor after hitting it with Micro Soul. Hey, I got the chance, but like I'll send you some pictures, man. When I'm done with this stream, I'll send you some, or if you just look up Golden Demon Winners 2025, like you'll see the competition I'm up against. It's outrageous, man. Again, I'm just thrilled to be in the same competition as some of these people, man. Like some of these people, like, again, if I just got to talk to, like, I'd be one very happy camper because, like, I know Ninjon's going to be entering Golden Demon again, and I've seen his entry so far, and it is just incredible. Like, if I got to just talk to him, I would, I'd be so happy. And then, like, if he asked what entry mine was and said anything positive, which I'm sure he would. He's a nice guy, but, like, again, boom, that would make my day, my year, definitely my March. Yeah, I will. No worries. Like, the things that these people can do, man, it's super high grade. Let's see if we can save it. Hell yeah. Patting her down. Oh no! That's what I was afraid of. Let's see if we can get it back on there, maybe. Feel like it's possible. Black tap, black tap. Okay. Hell yeah. Alright. That feels good. That feels righteous. Ruh-roh. Yeah, no, I saved it. We made it come all the way back, man. We got that. I leave the 23rd. No, 24th. 24th through the 30th, I'll be gone. I have off the 23rd. That's what I was thinking. Because I'm taking that off the pack and finish anything I'm not done with, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, I'll be gone from the 24th to the 30th. And also for anybody hanging out and not chatting, that's totally cool, but welcome in. I'm Big Nerd. Thank you for joining. If you have any interest in looking at my other socials, I have links to all of my other socials, including like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc., etc. Yeah, man, I'm hoping to. I don't know when a good day is, but I'm hoping we can figure something out. That'd be nice. Alright, now we're going to do some micro soul. And pray I don't goof it all up. Because this micro soul is going to dissolve those little bit of barriers that are left from the transfer, and it's going to make it look like I painted that, which I certainly hell did not. Appreciate you, Mark. I can finally stop working with these, which is nice. The fumes aren't so nice. Forget skin irritant, it's an eye irritant. Okay. And we're back. Alright, that's got to dry, so I'm going to put him off to the side for now. And we're going to work some more on this Contemptor. But yeah, I'm super happy with where we're at now. We got some writing on the leg, on the shoulders. We got the beginning of our custom Legio symbol, so pretty happy with that. But for now, we're going to work on this Night Lord a little bit more. It's about time for a new wet palette. Sponge on this one's getting rough. But we're gonna rock it and roll it one more time. Get some distilled water in there. Oh my god. You've got to be kidding me. Random rag number 2, go. Collect the water. Alright. Yeah, maybe maybe the weekend after this weekend. I have some chores to run on Saturday, unfortunately. And Sunday I have some commission business I need to deal with. So, yeah, that's unfortunately not going to work this weekend, but hopefully the weekend after that, maybe we could get together and do something. We're going to try not to spill this again. Just get a little bit in there. Bada bing. It's about what I need for that anyway. Yeah, I'll talk to the gang and see what we're thinking. Because like I said, I have things to do, unfortunately, this weekend. But the weekend after that, I think people, or at least me, might be free. If nothing else, maybe we could go catch a game with I'm blanking his name right now. I feel bad. But the other dude we typically hang out with. Feels bad to not know the dude's name off the top of my head, but forgive me. But yeah, maybe we can catch a game with him. I would not be opposed to that. I apologize for the noise, everyone. I know that was probably very traumatic to the ears, but I didn't have any cut beforehand, which was very silly of me. But we're here. I did not mean to cut it that small, but again, we're here. It'll be fine. It's Dodgy Babu. There we go. We're going to start off with some silver on this dude's backpack. I forgot to do that while I was working on other stuff. Get a little bit down there. Don't need that glove anymore. Much better. I think. Anyway. Now Oh, just Butterfingers tonight. Rough. Okay. Break that up a smidge. We're gonna get our dry brush just a tiny bit wet. That's the joke of dry brushing. You don't want it to be actually dry. You want just a little bit of moisture to be on there so you can get nice, smooth. Like that. If I didn't think that plastic would just bloody implode, like basically, I would drill that out, but I'm pretty sure that would just implode basically. But what I will do is shave off of those nubbins. So don't love that. Just get rid of the nubbins. No more nubbins. And then we can just repaint that, bada bing. Then we can just wipe away all of that. Since we had varnish on there already. Which is quite nice. Nice thing about varnishing your miniatures and then continuing to work on them. It's like a one big happy save point. Okay. How's this coming? Pretty much dry. I'm gonna let that go for just a little bit longer. But that's looking pretty decent so far. We're gonna get our number 2 here. Should still be very workable to a fine point. Yeah, alright. Nice. Get just a little bit of white. We're going to use that for the contenter lenses on here. So you can get a nice red. Just like that. And remember, whenever you're painting small details like this, don't be afraid to rotate the miniature. That can really help you get into those places comfortably. Okay. I don't love this base, but I also don't hate it, so it's probably the one we're gonna roll with. Great. Okay. That's just how our night's going. Alright, well, good thing I don't care about color being in our wet palette. At least on this one. That's fairly frustrating, but that's alright. At least we know what kind of night we're having. And that's always important. So I think we're going to get this base cleaned up a little bit more. And then we could start working on this base, because I don't need it to be overly elaborate. For something I'm maybe gonna play like every 15 lists, you know? I'll move you just a little bit more into frame. You know what? We're gonna get rid of your tootsies. There we go. I think we can get this dry a little bit faster with our airbrush. Or at least move all that water out of those little cracks and crevices, you know? We can at least do that. Alright. Now we can start. Hey, Warhammer Builder. No, it's about the same size these days. But it is a Contemptor Dreadnaught from the Horus Heresy for my Night Lords. I like to run them in 40k because they just look cool. And I got this one secondhand for like 20 bucks or something. So I've just been slowly making him look cool. And then he'll go into my 40k list as a relic Dreadnaught, or I can also proxy him as a Hellbrute if I want. So that's what's going on with that. And right now, we just made the eyes white on him so I can do some red in there shortly, but I wanted to take a quick break while that dried and just try to clean up this base a little bit. Because I've decided I'm going to use this base because it is the correct size for a Contemptor and a Hellbrute, I believe. So, figured I'd clean this up while we wait on things to dry. Because I originally just meant this to be a painting base because I didn't think this was the correct size, but now that I've been corrected, oh, and how's the music, by the way? Is it too loud, too soft? What are people feeling on that? Okay, cool. It's hard for me to judge, so, and usually at this time of the evening I try to keep it on the lower side just because people in my house are typically trying to sleep. Not always, but typically. Okay, I think those are the major issues that I had with the base, were just those lumps and such. I don't feel any other irregularities that are not supposed to be there, except for that. That's very easily removed. Alright, cool. Now we can bring our wet palette back. Welcome back, wet palette. We're going to get some dark warm gray. My Night Lords normally are fighting on some kind of mud, but for this I think going with stone would be better. I might add a little bit of mud texture to it just to help tie it into other bases, but we'll see. Honestly, like, as much as basing can be a pain, I do like it because it is just something that you can kind of mess around with and not have to be too precise on any one thing. And dry brushing's kind of perfect for it too. Like, I really like dry brushing bases. I think it's very nice. We can just slowly integrate some of this white. It's not even like a huge deal if it's mixing somewhere. That's just going to give it more irregularities, make it look more natural. Or at least that's what I'm going to say. Just take a little bit more of that, make even a lighter version of that gray. Just start hitting some of those more upper facing areas. I might cover like that up with some mud just to really help hide that, you know, but we're not trying to hit everything with this, but something like that. I think that looks pretty good already. Like, is it perfect? No, but we'll get to, maybe not perfect, but pretty cool, I think. I think pretty cool is very doable. Take a look at our little Titan boy. Yeah, I think everything's nice and dry on there, so before we get off, we'll go ahead and varnish that. But I'm going to be on for a little bit longer, so we're going to take some of this Caraborg Crimson, and we're going to just water it down quite a bit. We're going to just kind of work it around. Thinking maybe the cracks would be kind of nice. Just kind of dab it on there. Let that start building a little bit of extra color. We'll let that dry. Excuse me. Now we're going to get a little bit of fluorescent red and bulb pyro red. Here, just so I don't knock it over, we're just going to dump that into there. What is that? What is that? I know it's like an emoji, but not 100% sure what. I need to like get in here with some tweezers or something, because I finally figured out like what's happening. It's like built up and caked up on the nozzle end, which is really weird. I haven't had that happen on a Monument bottle until now, but whatever, it's just about dead, so I'm not overly concerned with it. Get some of that pyro red. get it over that white and the lens. So even when the world is telling you not to paint, just keep painting. What's the worst that can happen? Lose my hand by the end of it. You know, that's probably the worst that can happen. It's like, oh my god, he lost his hand on Twitch stream. Who would have guessed? Who would have thunk it? Not me, tell you that much. Okay. And then we're going to take some of that fluorescent red. This is a really good way of making highlight colors if you want them to be nice and poppy. Take you a little bit of red, a little bit of fluorescent red, a lot of bit of fluorescent red. That's gonna, we're gonna go a little ham on the fluorescent red, really make it try to have some pop there. We're gonna just do this as just a little bit of an additional highlight in there. Granted, it's not going to be super noticeable, but it'll help it stand out a little bit more, which is nice. If you want to take that even further, we could bring that into a kind of pinkish red, which I think I'll do. And then we can just carefully put that into basically the center of the islands, like that. Okay. And how's our base looking? Almost dry. Let's see, I might be able to put his foot there. Yeah, that's where his foot was originally, I think. Yeah, I could do it like that. Or, because I kind of wanted to be a little more central. Kind of like that, I think. So, yeah, I think I'll just add some mud there. Yeah. I like that idea a little bit better, I think. And then one thing I like to do as well is hit it with a little bit of a black wash. Just get a little bit of water here. Test it out on me fingy. And then we can just do an overall wash. And that'll just kind of make it look a little bit dirtier. And then we'll keep that little bit of red tinge in there too, which is nice. And use just a little bit of water to smooth it around. Get a little bit more aggressively on the back end there. Try to avoid that pooling, and then that can dry. Then we're gonna get our matte varnish. I'm just trying to think ahead a little bit here. And for all those that might be watching this on YouTube, re-uploaded as a VOD, thank you for checking out this VOD. We appreciate you despite the difficulties we had tonight. But I appreciate you being here, and consider giving me a like and follow on this VOD video, and check me out on Twitch. I go live every Wednesday from 10:30 p.m. to just about whenever I feel like it, but every Wednesday. So next week I'll be back as well. This is not the end of the stream or the VOD, but I just want to throw that out there in case somebody does run into this. I think the favorite part about all this is now I can just plug in the phone charger over yonder. And extend our way to charging victory. Okay. Almost dry. Just got a little bit of sheen on it still, so while that's doing that, I totally forgot we also had this guy here, so we're gonna go ahead and get this dude a little bit more paint on him. Excuse me. That way we can have both the Gatling cannon and the fist. Or double Gatling cannon, which is probably less than great on table, but I'm excited for it for no reason other than it's cool. But around here, that's all the reason we need, is just because it's cool. I think these are two old assault cannons just strapped together, which I think is a really, I don't know about elegant, but a really fun solution to the problem of not having the other storm cannon. Get in all the nooks and crannies on all the surfaces. We'll let that dry for a moment. Then we'll do the, I guess, the ammo cans. While that dries, we'll check on our base again. I think we're dry enough to at least paint that skull, so... where's my khaki? There's my khaki. We're going to use my favorite little technique for painting skulls, which is just khaki and then skeleton horde. That is by far my favorite way of doing it. I think it looks very nice. Looks pretty cool, I think. Especially if you don't overload the skull with like paint. I think it comes out looking really, really sharp for like negative like work. I honestly wish there was more skulls, but what can you do? Beyond just, like, complain, I guess. Let that dry for a moment. Go back to painting these. I think it's gonna be so cool when it's done. Doing pretty good about just talking to myself tonight, you know? It's pretty solid. Normally I'm not this good about it. Alright, and then that can dry. Now we're going to take some of that skeleton horde and pop that right on our skull, like that. And like I said, negative effort, that gives you a really good skull effect. Like I just love that. That's just, Such a go-to for me. All right. And then think. Oh, warp lightning. Definitely not like Templar. Oh, thank you everyone for contributing. Light on blue. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna do that. Come here, you. Oh my god, just fall over. It's fine. Everything's doing that tonight. Just have the most painted hands. I'm gonna hit this base with some athematic blue. I think that'll make things look a little bit cool, I think. I don't really know what I'm doing with this base. I'm just kind of doing stuff, honestly. Just doing stuff, man. Just doing stuff. Like that. Just doing stuff. Just gonna hit everything with this. Now, I think that gives it a nice looking look, you know. Somebody's gonna be so confused if this is only part of the VOD they see. They'll be like, wow, that guy has that accent? And then, like, I go back to this, you know? It'd be wildly confusing for them. I'm very okay with that, though. I think once we're dry, I'm gonna hit this with a bit of pure black in those bullet holes, just to really hopefully sell that depth. While I'm looking at it, before we varnish it, like I did previously, let me get a little bit of my purple out. I'm gonna grab a little bit of water. I'm just gonna let that go down to basically a glaze. We're just gonna fix those little mistakes where I was pushing and prodding those decals around. Okay. And that'll be good and dry by the time we're ready to varnish it. I'm going to take a little bit of water this khaki down. Definitely not to a glaze, but just enough to let it be nice and smooth. And we're just gonna hit a little bit of the skull to give it a little bit more definition. Plus bringing back in that khaki is going to give it a little bit more of a bone, like out in the sun bleached kind of look, and that's pretty cool, I think. Like that. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but find out here in a second. My other monitor lags, so yeah, you having a hard time. Maybe that's better. I don't know. One of these days I'll have a real boy camera. One of these days. Till then, we're just gonna use our phone like a maniac. Maniac, oh yeah. Like I said, we're just adding in that black back to those bullet holes. That way those divots have a little extra depth to them. You can do that to some of these bigger scratches here where the impact crater is. And the nice thing here too is like any additional like streaking, that's really not gonna like mess anything. It's just more color on the base at that point. Again, in my humble opinion at least. And we can take some light bronze and put those on the bullet casings. Should have given that a little bit more of a shake. Shaken, not stirred. That was really bad Bond impression. I was almost like Elvis. Oh. take my peanut butter shaken, not stirred. That's even worse as an Elvis impression. No matter how you're looking at that, that is rough. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm Big Nerd. We're just hanging out, painting some Warhammer. Right now we're working on a Contemptor Dreadnaught base. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm always happy to answer. Now, we got a pretty cool looking base. Let's see. Yeah, that would be pretty nice, I think. I think that's where we're gonna put them. Particularly don't want to use super glue, but I don't know what plastic glue is gonna do in this scenario, so we're just gonna go do it old school style with some super glue. Get them a good bead there. Get it all smushed around. And I'll pop them down. That's looking pretty snazzy, I think. We'll let him dry. I'll have a good one, dude. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out, Warhammer Builder. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good night so far. Tonight we've been working on a Night Lords Contemptor Dreadnaught and a really cool Reaver Titan that I'm working on for Golden Demon. We did some transfers tonight. I need to get this dude varnished so I don't mess up those transfers before I start doing a little bit of freehand. So I think that's going to be the next step, is varnishing these dudes here in a few minutes, but I'm going to get this dry brushed a little bit. A little bit too wet there. that we can pull that back a little bit, which is the convenient part of that. Just hit this. Like that. Get it a bit more uniform. And then we can hit it with a black wash. Should be good after that. Get some of that black wash I already had on here. Just put that on there since the dry brush went on a little heavier handed than I had anticipated. This will help just kind of knock things back down a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit. All right, let's get this put down. Oh, hold on. We're gonna be wrapping this dude up. We need to hit that base rim with some black. Like that, like that. Really tie the whole thing together. Boom. Look at our new shiny Dreadnaught. What a day. Man, granted he's not too shiny, but he's shiny enough. Look at our boy. Look at our boy. He looks so good. Okay. Now I can put you back down. Here. Alright, we're gonna reorganize here just a little bit. Okay, that way we're not varnishing things we don't particularly want to varnish. Alright. I'll move you over here. And this boy is going to be up first, so the other boy can have his paint fully dry. Can I pop you onto here? That'd be wildly easy. Yes. Yes, I can. It's not ideal, but it'll do. Get a good little bit of varnish in there. Give her a little stir. Okay. Just gonna let that dry for a sec. This end up gonna basically be getting like 4 coats of varnish, but I'd rather do that than not. Really focusing on making sure we're hitting those transfers. Okay. We're gonna yeah, that's the savior we needed. Okay. And then we're going to get our weapons. Well, we're going to attempt to get our weapons varnished. Right, just set that down like that. Come on, work with me here. Okay. Set that down there. And this dude should be good and dry, which it looks like he is, so we're gonna go ahead and give him another round of good old matte varnish. Just like that. Just gonna wick up some of that. Would never have guessed it would have pulled like that. Very glad I caught that when I did. Everything else looks good, so you can go back to chilling. Okay. Take another look here. Yeah, it's all drying just fine. God, that is wacky how like good that looks. Super impressed with Microset and Microsol. Alright. Since that's going to get another coat anyway before all is said and done, I'm not going to worry with doing that tonight. So, I forgot to varnish you, but that's fine. Well, let's just go ahead and do it, I guess. Only takes a second to make another little batch. Oh, there it is. I'm constantly losing that little thing. Okay. And then I think I will just do another quick round on just the decals. I think that's all I really have spray for anyway. Hopefully that goes okay. And if not, maybe we can fix that in painting. We can probably do something to that worst case. We'll figure it out. I don't know. I don't know anymore. We're doing stuff. I tell you what. I've given up on trying to like be perfect. Maybe it'll dry clear. Who really fucking knows at this point? Crash out on stream. Probably no one will watch this to the end, even if someone does find it in my YouTube. They'll be like, oh yeah, no, he did the transfers. I learned how to do microset, microsol, and how to spell it. And that's all I needed to know. And then they'll just stop watching it there. Who knows, really? Or they'll get to the end and hear all this nonsensical ranting, which is also, I think, a pretty exciting perspective or prospect as well. Gonna get some alcohol in there and give it a little swirl. Make sure we're getting all that nasty stuff out of there. Just can't stop looking at it. Oh man, if that doesn't dry clear, I'm gonna be a little sad. Well, we'll hope for the best. Absolute worst case, maybe I scrape that bit off. Maybe? I don't know. I was finding like little microscopic drops of alcohol there. Okay. Go ahead and get our needle cleaned. If I can grab it without tumping everything over, let's go. We did it for once. Grab something without completely bamboozling it. That's an oddity tonight. We're just gonna let our needle hang out in some alcohol for a moment. Give it a little twist. That should be good. Grab some needle juice. Always want to re-oil your needle. Make sure your brush runs nice and smooth. in the airbrush. Now we're just going to make sure that it still shoots some water, and it does. Okay, airbrush is ready to rock and roll for the next go round. Now we're gonna do some well-deserved brush maintenance. So dump that into there. Get some fresh water. Both of those will need to get refilled. Do that after the stream has concluded. Good news on the Titan, it's starting to look like it's drying clear, so that's very good. That's super exciting. We're going to take our brush soap and preserver. This time we got Monument Hobbies Brush Goop 2.0. Really good stuff. If you're watching this VOD and you're like, wow, where's that guy get that brush goop? Or what is Monument Hobbies? Monument Hobbies is a really awesome painting company out of Arizona, and they make products just like these and Pro Acryl. And they're both really good. So if you're interested, go check them out. And if you do go check them out, use the code BIGNERD, and that will save you a little bit off of your purchase whenever you go to checkout. And it helps kick back to me as well. So you help support me a little bit. And you also get to help a all-American paint company. So it's pretty good stuff, if I do say so myself. Like, you can see how much red it's taken out of this paintbrush. It's quite a bit. And then we can just shape our brush tip like that. And all you need to do is leave that on your brush, let it dry like that, and it'll be good as new. Now we're gonna work on this dirty brush. This one's seen some things. Get a little bit more. Put it into my palm. We're gonna really work it in. We can even push it a little bit in between the brushes. Trying to get a little bit more into that ferrule, being fairly gentle with it. Just enough pressure to splay that out and really push in that brush soap. Alright, that's probably about as good as we're gonna get. So, just like the other one, I'm gonna get as good of a point as I can on this. This one is a synthetic, so I know it's not gonna be crispy clean like the other one was, but we'll get to a decent place with it. And we'll do our last brush. Just doing the same thing to it. This one we can actually kind of get to a decent point because it's a little bit of a newer synthetic that I've bought, so that looks better. Be right back. Right, and we're back. Get that closed up. We got our brushes cleaned. We got a decent amount of painting done. We got a new Dreadnaught. Nice and done. Just quite good. Quite happy with him. Like I said, we could switch this out with the other weapon we varnished and finished painting. And then the real beast of the evening, we got a good amount of transfer work done on Golden Demon entry for this year. I'm really happy with how those transfers turned out, and even the varnish dried pretty well. So we're gonna go ahead and pop him off of that. And then we're going to go ahead and send out a raid. And if anybody is watching, I hope y'all have a great night, and we're going to say hi to Paintwater Sommelier. Have a good one.